Forget school's version of ancient Egypt, where it's all pyramids, mummies, and boring PowerPoint slides. This is the ancient Egypt they didn't want you to know about. The scandals, the drama, and a pharaoh or two who would have definitely posted topless gym selfies. Take the pyramids, for example. You've wondered how they were built, but here's the kicker. These weren't built by slaves. Nope. These guys were regular workers who got paid in bread and beer, where carbs and booze were the original employee benefits. And Cleopatra? She was the ancient Egyptian queen of power moves. Imagine a politician who could run circles around Julius Caesar and throw shade better than your nosy neighbor. And then there's Ramesses II. He didn't just rule, he ruled. The man had more statues of himself built than selfies in your camera roll. If flexing was an Olympic sport, Ramesses would have been the Michael Phelps of ancient Egypt. So, welcome to History is Boring, where you'll laugh, think, and maybe even actually remember something. Let's get started, because the only thing boring about history is pretending it isn't awesome. The Neolithic period in Egypt. When people decided that living in the middle of nowhere, starving in the desert, wasn't as fun as it sounds. But don't worry, they eventually figured it out. Kind of. Before Egypt was Egypt, it was, well, mostly a giant mess. Picture this: nomadic hunter-gatherers wandering the vast deserts, doing their best to survive while the Nile River just sat there, taunting them with its existence. It's like a bad survival show where the contestants just refuse to read the directions. But hey, some genius eventually had the idea of, hey, let's settle down by that river and maybe farm? And voila! The first big upgrade: grain grinding. No more running after wild game or digging up roots. Now, they had sickles, yes, sickles, fancy tools to grind grain and not starve. Real progress. Welcome to 12,000 BC, where living off the land was only slightly less exhausting than the alternative. Now let's talk cows, shall we? They were busy herding cattle somewhere near the Sudan border around the 8th millennium BC. You'd think this is where Egypt would have started its own domestication revolution, but nope. No independent cattle domestication in Africa. Turns out the cows weren't quite on board with the whole domesticated idea, and Egypt couldn't even get that part right. Nice try, though. But the good news is they were good at not leaving evidence. Archaeologists love it when they find artifacts. It's like an ancient scavenger hunt. So, as you can guess, there isn't much to show for those 3,000 years, except for a few rock carvings and some random tools. These are like the ancient Egyptian version of, hey, I was here. And then, just to really shake things up, the climate decided to go all hot and dry. By around the 8th millennium BC, the once lush lands were transforming into the Sahara. Imagine the desert coming to life around you, gradually squeezing the life out of everything and forcing people to, you guessed it, move closer to the Nile. Because why not? The river was looking better than ever. Finally, our brave ancestors learned the most important lesson of all: don't fight Mother Nature. And thus Egypt began to take shape. Permanent settlements along the Nile started popping up like, oh, maybe this river thing's not so bad. And just like that, people went from random wanderers to, hey, let's build an empire. Or at least try. By 4,400 BC, they'd even domesticated cattle in the Fayum area. Proof that Egypt, while slow, had a knack for finding new ways to eat. Who needs the Sahara when you've got cows, right? So, while the rest of North Africa was turning into a giant sandpit, Egypt slowly but surely was on its way to figuring out how to make living near a giant river work. We're talking about the dawn of civilization here, folks. They didn't have it all figured out yet. Heck, they weren't even close, but they were getting there. Remember, this is just the beginning. Stay tuned for Egypt's next big leap forward, where they start building pyramids, and eventually ruin everything by introducing tomb robbers. But first, let's appreciate that they survived long enough to make history. Just barely. Hit like, because algorithms are the new pyramids, and we need your help building ours. Share this with your friends who think history is boring. They need it most. Subscribe so you don't miss more pharaohs, mummies, and ancient drama. Thanks for watching. Remember, history's only boring if you make it that way.